You call a private jet company, you have the money, you book the flight, and you think you've entered the world of private aviation? You haven't. Because in private jets, money is only level one. What actually separates the levels is time. And the people who understand that fly completely differently. Level one, the empty leg. This is where most people first taste private aviation. An empty leg is a repositioning flight. The jet needs to move from one city to another. No passengers. Dead weight. So operators sell those seats for almost nothing, sometimes 80% cheaper than a normal charter. At this level, you're not really flying private, you're borrowing someone else's schedule. The departure time isn't yours, the route isn't yours, and if plans change, you're the first to get bumped. But here's what empty legs do. They give people a taste. And once you've sat in a private cabin, commercial aviation never feels the same again. Most people never forget their first empty leg flight. The cabin, the silence, the space, and the quiet realization that they've been doing it wrong their whole life. That's how the industry pulls people in. Level 2, the charter. This is where private aviation actually begins. Book the aircraft. You set the departure time. Choose the route. No check-in lines, no security theater, no middle seats. A charter flight on a light jet like a Citation CJ3 costs around $5,000 to $15,000 for a short trip. A mid-sized jet pushes that to $20,000 or more. At this level, buyers start understanding what they're actually paying for, not the seat, the time, an hour saved at each end of a journey, no connection, no delays that aren't yours to control. And suddenly, the math starts making sense. For a CEO whose time is worth thousands per hour, a $15,000 charter isn't an expense, it's an investment. This is also where companies start justifying the cost internally. A team of 5 executives flying commercial loses half a day each way. Multiply that by salary. Suddenly, the charter pays for itself. Level 3, the fractional owner. This is where private aviation becomes a lifestyle. Fractional ownership means you buy a share of an aircraft, usually 1/16th, 1/8th, or 1/4. Companies like NetJets and FlexJet run these programs. You don't own a specific plane, you own access to a fleet, guaranteed availability, 25 flight hours per share per year, and a level of consistency that charter can't match. At this level, the experience becomes predictable. Same quality every time, same crew standards, same cabin feel, and predictability is what the wealthy actually pay for, not luxury. Reliability. This is also where the social dynamics shift. Fractional owners start recognizing each other at FBOs. Quiet nod, a shared understanding. The same way Rolex owners recognize each other across a room. Level 4, full ownership. This is where private aviation stops being a service and becomes an asset. A Gulfstream G700 costs around $75 million new. A Global 7500 pushes past that, and that's before crew, maintenance, hangar, and insurance. Full ownership costs easily $3 to $5 million per year just to operate. But at this level, the aircraft isn't just transportation. It's an office, bedroom, a mobile command center. Deals get closed at 45,000 feet. Board meetings happen over the Atlantic, and the competitive advantage of arriving fresh, while your competition sat in airports for 6 hours, is impossible to put a number on. At this level, the aircraft also becomes a negotiating tool. Arriving on your own jet sends a message before you say a word. It tells the room who controls the timeline. And in business, controlling the timeline is everything. Level 5, the Flying Command Center. This is the level the public almost never sees. These are not jets. They are airborne headquarters. Boeing Business Jets. Airbus ACJ variants. Custom wide-body aircraft converted for a single owner. At this level, the aircraft has conference rooms, bedrooms with real beds, shower suites, secure communication systems, in range that makes geography irrelevant. Some of these aircraft cost over $500 million fully outfitted. But here's what separates level 5 from everything below it. At this level, the jet isn't about comfort, it's about sovereignty, the ability to move anywhere on Earth, untracked, unscheduled, answerable to no airport, no airline, no government timeline. These aircraft don't just move people, they move power. And at the highest levels of wealth, the jet isn't a vehicle. It's a statement that the world operates on your schedule, not the other way around. That's why private aviation at the highest level has nothing to do with luxury. It's about freedom, and freedom, the most expensive thing in the world.